That's unfortunate because we're starting.
I'm not ready for it. Okay.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, we have something to talk about. We have an interview to go over some things to look forward to in 4.2, as well as the unofficial census, the latest one from Lucky Bancho, going over the population trends in Final Fantasy XIV currently, which is always fun to follow, especially during these lull patches like we talked about last week. However, before we can do that, let's do introductions. I'm one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Poveromo. Of course, joining me is Sly, aka Slythefox, aka Sly, aka Greyfox, aka you, my boy Blue. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you? How was your venture into the Great White North?
I went to Canada, home of the tree and land of the A.
Hey.
So you want to know? So I guess I could talk about that real quick. I went to an event called KupoCon this last weekend.
She didn't.
Yeah, it was fun. There was a Distant Worlds concert on Saturday, and then Sunday was KupoCon. And Adam Crosdell, the voice for Ignis, was there. John Campling, the motion cap for King Regis and Arden, was there, and also apparently a Death Eater from Deadly Hollows Part 1. I didn't know that. He's the Death Eater that stops the train in the first movie, which is not a major role, but he's still him. You know, he got some screen time. And Liam Mulvey, who did the motion cap and voice acting for Libertus, they were all there, and it was a good time.
Were there any new recipes?
You know, listen, I was talking to him, and then like a line of people formed to take a picture, and I think every single person asked him to do a video of him saying it. Every single person asked, "Hey, can you just say I've come up with a new recipe real quick?" It's like, well, don't even say, "Can you do it?" Just be like, "Well, you did it for them, so I think, can you do it for me too?" At the very least, I've come up with a new recipe. Said it 1,000,000 times. Really nice guys, though. All three of them.
Yeah.
And the event itself was great. I got to see Tequila. I got to see friends Anthony and Amanda. I got to meet a bunch of people. Here, I have something to show you. Look at this. So, if you're in my chat, name Harutaru has something called Imaginated Pixel, which is here. I'm gonna do a little plug right there. At Imaginated Pixel, and they made coasters for me of my emotes.
Ooh,
look at that. That's Mel.
That is amazing.
That's Mel. I'm showing them, so you can barely see it because you have a different camera.
I saw him. I saw him.
Then you have Hap A, which is a lot like what my hair actually looks like right now. You have Hap Joy, and then hold on, I'm using the coaster currently. I'm using, of course, the best coaster would have to be Hap Coffee right there. So,
yeah, that's a good question. Did you get more syrup?
No, actually, Mel told me to stop at the duty-free store and get some on the way back, but I was like, honestly, I'm so tired. I just don't want to.
So no syrup, no.
I did not get more syrup. No new recipes, no anything. I did, however, meet somebody else on the way back.
Yeah, she told me about this.
Yes, apparently, comedian Russell Peters was on my flight, and I heard people talking to someone behind me, like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of your work. Hey, do you remember me? We met." And I was like, "Who's standing behind?" And I said this out loud. I was like, "Holy shit, it's Russell Peters!" And he heard me say it too.
And he heard it. Yeah.
He was a funny guy. We took a picture, and after the flight, he found me, and we talked for like 10-15 minutes. I forgot his family. I knew his family lived in Toronto. I forgot he lived in Los Angeles. So he was flying from Toronto to Los Angeles, so probably visiting family to going home for whatever. So that was it was a good way to cap off the weekend after a fun little convention. They've got a bunch of other ones coming up. I know they have one in Vancouver. I know they have one in Birmingham, one in London coming up for KupoCon. So if you're interested, it's a fun little one-day convention where there's all kinds of merchandise like these kind of things that you will never see in a Square Enix store because it's made by like, you know, people who do like personal or internet or online internet stores and stuff. Lots of cosplay, and then alcohol in the evening.
Was there?
There was not a burlesque show.
God damn it!
There was improv and trivia. And I told the improv people, I was like, "Wow, this is much more. This is like a much nicer program that you guys have here." And like, what did you have?
I love the fact.
What did you have back in New Jersey?
I love the fact that you knew exactly what I was about.
Of course. What else? Sly, you're the one who was telling me to go to Hooters all last week, and of course I know you're asking about the burlesque show. But I told the improv people, I was like, your thing is much easier to be a part of than the thing that was at the New Jersey one. And one of the women who was running it, Esther, she asked me, well, what was the New Jersey one? And I said, we had a burlesque show. She was like, it's not that kind of improv. I was like, I'm not saying it should be. Yeah. And I'd say the cosplay to people attending ratio is like 40% of the people there were dressed up. Like a huge portion of people. Most of them characters from 15, I'd say. A few clouds in there, but mostly Final Fantasy 15. A few white mages from 14, stuff like that. But it was a good time. And if you're in those areas, London, Birmingham, Vancouver, I'd check out their website and see if it's something you'd be interested in attending. Especially if it happens right around a Distant Worlds concert like this one and the one in New Jersey did. Go back to New Jersey in 2 weeks too, Sly. Mother's birthday.
Yes, you do.
Gonna go visit her for her birthday. I haven't seen her since January. When I went to the last KupoCon, actually. I was in New Jersey. Aww. That was the last time I saw her. So, gonna do that. But I didn't go to Hooters, thankfully. I got real food while I was there. And I'm very grateful for it.
Well, we're not going to have this argument about how Hooters
No, we won't have an argument. There's no argument. I'm just stating a fact. That's all there is.
Okay.
All right. So now that we've covered how my weekend was, and Sly, you didn't do anything interesting, so we're not going to ask you about yours.
No.
Just not even going to ask you about your weekend. Let's talk about some stuff. So we were hoping to have the Kenji Sudo interview that I mentioned last week on for this week. I found it will not be. It's almost done. Like the interview, like the whole process, it's almost done. We don't have that, but we do have other stuff, thankfully.
Right.
And it's stuff that we've brought up on the show before, and it's stuff that directly involves 4.2, which we have a live letter, and it's on the fucking 15th. Do you know why I'm angry about that, Sly?
Why are you angry?
You know what I'm doing December 14th at 8 p.m.?
What are you doing?
Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm going to Star Wars at 8 p.m. the night before, and then at 3 a.m. 7 hours later is the live letter.
I can wait.
But they did say mid-December, and it literally is the 15th, as middle as you can get, pretty much, in this case. And they didn't give any details, specifics, just that's going to be about 4.2. It's 4.2 Part 1 live letter, so we don't know anything else. But we'll be able to speculate a little bit. Please look forward to it. We'll get to do that today based on the stuff we'll be reading from the Dualshockers interview, which gives us a little insight as to some of the stuff they're doing. First, let's do the census, though.
Yes. I always look forward to doing the census stuff because, when I was told about it, I went to Reddit, got the census data. I pretty much translated it, quote unquote. Just made a new sheet. If you in chat want to follow along, I have a link to the data right here.
It's a lot of data.
It's a lot of data. It's not, well, it's the same amount as we usually get. Very interesting. Very, very interesting as usual. What would you like to go over first? Well, do you want to go in order of the data from the
general population data to advanced population data, the different tabs?
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking at the very least. I think for me, the most interesting thing is last week, with the show is literally about not having a show last week, pretty much, because we're in the middle of the content lull and, how we've been getting through that and how we've seen other people progressing through that. So we usually, I don't know about you at least, but we've in the past experienced, major drop off in these unofficial censi I suppose, when it comes to this time of the patch cycle. It's just normal, you know. We don't really read too much into it. But this was a surprising number because their fall off was much less severe than I would have anticipated. Give it another month, it'd probably be more severe. But even then, I'm at this point shocked that as many, you know, people are still, based on Lucky Bancho's unofficial thing, considered active, I'd say.
Right.
So the active number, it says in the first column, is 808,627. Now, do you happen to remember exactly what he does? I think it's like you need to be level 36. You need to have logged in the I don't remember exactly what he does.
Yeah, I don't remember the rubric or what's required for this number to be a part of this number. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. I just take it at face value right now. Well, some things I take at face value, other things are kind of affected by, well, for example, the Falcon mount holders.
Yes.
That's one that you really can't look too hard at because what was the requirement for the Falcon mount?
Pay 90 days within the campaign period. Pay for 90 days worth of subscription time within the campaign period. Like, I just had a recurring plan, and that's how I got mine. So. And
you had people who did that, but still did not get their Falcon mount. So the number for Falcon mount holders might be a little off. Either give or take. I'm saying give. So the Falcon mount holder number would, I think, be slightly larger, but I don't really think that's one of the more interesting statistics out of the entire data. We'll get to the advanced and rating data, but you know, that's just
there's one thing. Chad already pointed out one thing I can't wait to hit on in the advanced population data.
Okay.
It's about Gilgamesh. I'll just forewarn you.
All right.
As we are not congested anymore for good reason.
Hooray.
Yeah, man. So what on this did you think was the most interesting? So here, I guess I could pull it up on the screen for those following along on the video. But which of these things, while I'm pulling it up, which of these things did you find the most interesting then?
From the general?
Yeah, from the general population data, the first tab of the thing that you linked.
Well, I think the interesting thing to take a look at was started Stormblood, because you look at the comparison for, I mean, it could be kind of based with, you know, general population and what have you. Another thing you have to think about in terms of the people who started Stormblood, when you look at the North American number, you really have to think about all the, and this is not just North America, but maybe worldwide, all the advertising that went into Stormblood. And I wish I had the older data. I could probably open the older data. I had to find it. But like the start of Heaven's Ward as opposed to now, like they had a huge advertising budget. This number includes all the, you know, the Hardys and, you know, Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
I was just gonna say, where's the
WrestleMania?
All those subs we got from the wrestling campaign.
Yeah, from WrestleMania. Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting number to see. Cleared 4.0, cleared 4.1, not too interesting. I mean, you surprisingly 4.1, NA had a huge drop. Yeah, a huge drop off in comparison to 4.0.
No, for me, I'm looking at the old data, the old Lucky Banchos. That's not that surprising to me. When it comes to story patches, unless it has something really major locked away from it, a lot of people do leave those like way in the past. Because I know people who literally just don't care about their expert roulette anymore. They don't bother unlocking the new ones. They do anything that's not expert roulette. They'll raid for the week. They'll do the 24-mans. They don't care. They'll do anything except expert roulette. So for me, that's not that surprising. I still think that I just think the active number, for me, of all the things, like the very first column, the active number is definitely the most surprising.
Even more returning.
Really? I mean, NA returning numbers, I expect that. Like, yeah, okay. So, specifically, I'm assuming you mean that NA had a registered 218,000 returning. I'm not. That's our MMO culture in North America. So many people are leavers and returners. They're MMO hoppers. That's just so normal in North America nowadays. For people to hop all around MMO to MMO to MMO to MMO. New expansion launch, return. I see it happen so much that it speaks to our culture, but it is in no way a surprise to me.
Right.
I also feel like that number is not typed correctly.
Why?
Because 16,000 plus 9,000 doesn't equal 48,000. But 16,000 plus 21,000 plus 9,954.
It might have been a conversion error.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I converted from JPG to PNG to Excel. So
okay. And it just fucked up. But yeah, so it's probably closer to 21,885. It's still way higher than the other regions, which it still comes to my point. But it's not 218,000.
No.
That's definitely not.
That's an error.
That's an error. So, but still serves my point. No, definitely the number of active under his conditions is still the most surprising to me. I would have expected it to be around 550,000 right now, not closer to this 700 to 800,000 mark.
Right.
As much as Yoshida likes to tout that we have the most concurrent subscribers we've ever had, and that was like after around 4.1's time. I think it might have even been after. That shocks me. Just as someone who's been doing this for years, it surprises me. But I think that we have a reason for it based on, even without looking at advanced population data. The number of people who have cleared all of the story content is very low. It's usually indicative that of the active player base, people are just not rushing to do story. They're just like kind of playing at their own pace. So they log in enough to be considered active, but not enough to like be at this point where we see these huge numbers of people in Rhalgr's Reach and stuff like that. So I think that leads itself to this a little bit more, the influx of people for Stormblood plus the number of people who've actually completed stuff. There's a lot of people who are still working on stuff, and that's all I take away from that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on.
Hold on. What?
180.
Are you changing the 218,000?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for editing that, Samuel.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you. Then we get into advanced population data.
Oh yeah.
Man.
All right. What do you want to go over first? Because there's a lot to go over.
Well, I know for me specifically, I'm interested. The very last tab rating data for each server is the most popular thing for me,
and we'll get to that. But originally, it should be. But you are able to sort it out based on any characteristic. I have my own Excel sheet open, so I can sort easily. Yeah. What did you want to look at first?
I'm just so impressed at, and honestly, it makes me still think they need more servers. The EU data center, their active population, their current active population, the lowest server based on this unofficial census is 13,861. That's incredible. Like their population, like I feel like the European population just gets shafted on so much when it comes to when people look at their communities and their numbers. This is in every way impressive. Obviously, you have the servers that are new that had a ton of people, like Louis Soir and Omega. Was it Omega? Was Omega one? Yeah, Omega was one of the new ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had to make Louis Soir after Omega, I think, or Omega after Louis Soir, one or the other. And it's incredible to me.
Now, Louis Soir did have the most number of transfers too.
Yeah, man.
Because it was 1,226. And then you had Mandragora and Mateus who got quite a few transfers as well.
Oh god.
So
I turned on a filter and I don't think it liked that. I was
temporary filter. Did you try to do a temporary filter?
Yeah, I just clicked on I and I just clicked sort sheet and it just went to hell.
Yeah.
How do I actually do it so this is the way I want it to?
You can do a temporary filter. Hold on, let me open up another
I guess actually no. I guess this actually kind of does it. I did Z to A, and it actually does what I want. It puts the transfers, the number of transfers. I would very much believe that Gilgamesh has more transfers than this, because it says that the Chaos server Omega has the most transfers out. That I totally believe. People transferred in for the launch, and they transferred out as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh had, it says 567 transferred out. I can guarantee you that number is higher. Like, that this isn't picking up on a lot of the people who transferred out. I refuse to believe that only 567 people transferred out of Gilgamesh. But it is higher than Balmung.
You don't think that number's enough to warrant, opening Gilgamesh back up?
No!
I mean,
that number doesn't reflect in the way that the server actually felt.
Yeah.
Although a lot of people also made new characters on servers that weren't Gilgamesh instead of transferring, so they didn't lose their character. So that could be something to consider as well. But other than that, I mean, the transfers out thing is interesting to me. The number of subscribed people per server is also interesting. Balmung sitting at, of course, a massive number. Like, Balmung, it says, has approximately 20,000 subscribed active players. And the second place to that is now Leviathan.
Ooh.
Cactuar, Excalibur, and Gilgamesh sat at 5th. This really aggravates me with the status, because it was like we were congested like when Leviathan, Cactuar, Excalibur had all already surpassed us, and we were sitting. We eventually, like it says here, that we were made uncongested. It was just, it pissed me off, man. that pissed me off. Pissed me off a lot, but it's whatever. It's just that you could see we had a considerable drop-off point in that we weren't second place anymore.
Right.
We were still getting treated like second place, but we're not actually. And I like that the info is consistent in that Balmung has been congested since it launched, as it has 0 transferred in. But as soon as Gilgamesh was opened, 300 people transferred back into Gilgamesh. They're like, I gotta get back in that server, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the end of November, too, so it's probably even higher now that we're, like, a week in, or, like, almost a week into December at this point, too. Yeah, this came out, what, last Wednesday? Thursday? Something like that.
I want to say Thursday?
Yeah, I think it was last Thursday, so I think it was literally through November 31st or something like that. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, is there anything here that you thought was particularly interesting?
The change in population. Now, if you sort by change, you'll notice that a lot of servers had a negative impact, and only a handful had a positive impact.
How should I sort this? A to Z or Z to A?
Largest to smallest.
I guess Z to A then.
Yeah.
Because the first server that shows it says comma 85, and that's Excalibur. So
yeah, and that's conversion era. But like I did it from top, and like I see all the negatives first. So a lot of loss for a lot of servers.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do A to Z for that one, so let me just flip it around real quick. Yeah, I mean, of course, we already mentioned that Omega, because people transferred on, and as soon as they could leave, they got... This is how I know the transferred out thing isn't 100% accurate, because you don't just decrease by 5,000 on the preferred server. That's people leaving or transferring out of some kind. So they lost the most, and then you can see it with some other servers as well. Goblin, Zalera, like all the servers that were preferred worlds, as soon as they weren't locked, a lot of people left those servers.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Those are the ones with the highest change. Lich, Coral, Zodiark, and then Gilgamesh. Right up there with the preferred servers is our congested server, no longer congested server, Gilgamesh. Exodus, Balmung. Where are all the JP transfers? Tomberry. Tomberry had like 664. It's barely anything. I'm still salty. All right, we're open again, guys. We're open again. And
Hooray.
Some of these servers are going to get their preferred status back at some point.
Yeah. Which begs the question: Square has this data.
Yeah, they have more accurate data than this.
They have more accurate data than this. This is just unofficial data. Based off of what you see right now, do you see any servers making a change to, opening their doors?
To opening their doors? So you mean a server that's closed?
Mm-hmm.
Balmung is not changing anytime soon. Like, Balmung has... I think we covered this in previous weeks, but the reason why Balmung doesn't have a massive amount of decrease, even it's one of the higher ones on the list, but compared to how congested it is because the reason why people are there is not as artificial as the reason why people were on Gilgamesh. People were on Gilgamesh because it was the place to be if you wanted to raid. When that was no longer the case, it was locked. You couldn't recruit there anymore. That's why we had such a huge fall. Balmung is, right. I know we make the ERP joke, but it's a more community central server. So when people aren't leaving...
That's what you want to call it?
No, it's community central. People aren't there because they need to be there to get the content that they want, but it is a central repository for community-based content. So that's why their numbers don't fall off. That's why they don't go uncongested, and unless that changes and a new server pops up and becomes like the official RP server, like a different one or an unofficial RP server, it's going to stay that way forever. It's just I don't know a future in which Balmung actually has its doors opened. Maybe by like summer of 2018, maybe by then they'll have bled enough people for it to be considered, but it's hard to imagine.
But you take that and then you look at the inactive data. Like Balmung has one of the highest inactive populations, second only to, well, in North America, second only to Leviathan. So you think that would merit, them opening their doors a little bit? I mean, you might think they're thinking that maybe some of these inactives will eventually return.
They will absolutely return. We're in the patch lull, and this was taken at the end of November. So for me, it means nothing at all that they have 3,359 inactive, because because even with that, they still have more active players than most of the other servers, and those players will return when there's content.
Right.
So. And they'll be fine. I feel confident that Balmung, I have a feeling they are probably also suffering. One of the big things about being on a community-focused server is that you want to be welcoming new people into a community-based server, and they literally are as is. There's no, which was a big argument with Gilgamesh, there's no injection of new members of the community to that server. Eventually, that can grow stale and make people leave or stop playing. So that will eventually reach a tipping point. It hasn't yet, though. They still have so many people that I don't think it's going to happen for them anytime soon. All right, so there's inactive. What else do we have? Is there anything else here that tickles your fancy, Sly?
In terms of the advanced population data, not really. I mean, we can all kind of look at current population and who has the biggest dick right now.
Tell me, what's top on that list, Sly? You shouldn't even have to sort it, Sly.
Really?
You know the answer is Balmung.
Yeah, of course it is.
I mean, don't forget, even Behemoth has more people than Gilgamesh now.
Yeah, we do. How you doing? Yeah. Top 10, baby. Number 10.
Genova lost its preferred status and everything, man. Even Genova had more people. I mean, to be fair, Genova doesn't surprise me. I'm pretty sure that's the server that Dodger, Strip, and JP, I'm pretty sure that's the server that they played on for like the past few years. So they probably had a huge surge of people. I don't know if that's still the case, but I know it was the case a while back. So that doesn't surprise me all that much.
Right.
Okay. So, Gilgamesh, we're dead.
You're number 13 overall, and you're dead.
Yeah, we're dead.
Yeah,
it's actually been really nice having our doors open. Like, it's every time we see a Sproutling now, we're like, we love you. We love you. Oh shit! Wait, never mind. He's RMT. Oh shit! He's trying to sell me. Gil. Oh no! I forgot they're back. Yeah, We've had to deal with that. Okay, so let's move on to the last one, which is the rating data.
Yeah, baby. Mm-hmm.
Man, were these Midas clear rates bad. You know what really shocks me? Actually, never mind. I was going to say what really shocks me is the number of people who cleared Gordius but didn't clear Midas. I realize it's including people who have done it unsynced. And Gordius unsynced is much easier than Midas unsynced. So, but even then, like, that means these Midas clear rates are a lot closer to, like, what they were. And you see even them versus Creator, and it's insane, man.
Now, before we get ahead, well, I want to go ahead. I want to go ahead a little bit. I want to open this door a little bit since this is relevant. Stealth escape. I mean, it's one thing to look at the raw number, and yeah, you're gonna get pretty much 9 out of the top.
Just say Japan's better, all right? Just say it. I know it's what you're leaning into. I've got it in front of me. Just say Japan is better, okay? We know it. It's always been true. It's more. It's just as true as it ever was, okay?
But the actual number, that's not the worst part. It's the percentage.
The percentage is always the worst part, Sly. It has always been the worst part. It will forever be the worst part.
Oh, North America, why are we so bad? Why are we so bad?
Dude, look at this clear rate. EU doesn't pop up until, like, wait, I'm colorblind. A Ragnarok server.
35th.
No, they're in 20th. 20th. For clear.
Oh, no, I'm talking about percentage.
Oh, yeah.
For 35th for overall. Yeah. So at least you're 25th. Congratulations, you're top 25. That means you would make a ranking on an NCAA ranking list. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thanks,
You're
dude.
welcome.
I just want to say, for North America and Europe having as much toxic motherfuckers as possible, we ain't got the stats to back this shit up that we're so good. At least when someone's toxic on the fucking Chocobo world, there's over a 1 in 4 chance that they're actually good at the game. Or good enough at the game. Like,
yeah, we were talking about this in Raid. It's one thing to be, a little bit toxic and good. It's another thing to be toxic and bad. We're toxic and bad. Jesus.
Oh, man. Like, and these aren't even like 100. They may not be accurate because they're unofficial, but still over 3,000. I mean,
they're accurate to a certain degree.
The thing is, and the other thing about Chocobo that's even more fascinating is it is both the highest number of clears and the highest percentage of clears. Because someone in the chat brought up, but isn't that based on population? I'm like, yeah, but they also have just the straight up most clears. In fact, the only servers that really pop up higher on the list when just going with straight clears versus straight, like, Gilgamesh is way more up there, Leviathan's way more up there, but then compared to the population on those servers, like, Leviathan is 37th, and Gilgamesh is 25th.
25th.
There are 20, well, not 24, I was going to say. We're not 25th, let me be clear. We're on the 25th line. The first line is region, so we're actually 24th, just to be fair. But that means there are 23 of the Japanese servers are ahead of us percentage-wise, and in terms of just straight up numbers, at least 7 of them. And then North America, we just stop talking shit, please. Like, we look worse every fucking time you go into the Duty Finder. Every time you go into the Duty Finder with your fucking ACT open and you talk shit to that red mage who's just trying to do his fucking daily expert roulette, and our fucking clear rates are ass, we just look worse and worse by the day.
Yep.
Nothing's helping. We can't even, don't talk shit to us when we're inferior. All right, that's all that matters. That's all it is.
And then of course you had the most recent elephant in the room, Ultimate. I mean, this is pretty much no contest. We already knew this going in.
Hey, Gilgamesh is third here. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's third, but it's also 1/3 of the two servers above us. And also, what's interesting about Ultimate is anyone who has it. This is probably among because the way they do Deltascape, I believe, is achievements, but achievements can be locked. So sometimes you do it based on the mount. I don't remember which one he's doing for this one in particular. With Ultimate, there's no mount, actually. Never mind. Ultimate's a little weird because there's no mount to base it off of if their achievements are hidden. So, I mean, I don't think you can search by who has a golden Bahamut weapon. So, I don't know. Because I can tell you on Gilgamesh more than 20 people have cleared. Because it's not even that's not even divisible by 8. So, and it's not just alts. I can tell you for certain Gilgamesh is more than 20 people have cleared. But still.
And then Behemoth being 10th. And I know the 8 people who have cleared on Behemoth.
Just that one group.
Just that one group, and I know them personally.
It's crazy to see because what Ultimate actually shows us is how many people hide their achievements. Anything below Behemoth has people hiding achievements because you have 7, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then zeros.
You know, there's like, in terms of sports, there's always this thing I have, like with the NFL, we have our divisions. You have the AFC North, you have the AFC West, and then you have the AFC East, or what's known as New England Patriots. In Final Fantasy, we have JP, we have EU, and then we have Gilgamesh. That's pretty much it. Like, Gilgamesh is in regards to rating. I hate to say it, but Gilgamesh is our representation.
I just want to say, that even with the servers that have people hiding achievements, there's also the possibility of cross realms, like throwing these numbers off as well. Like people being on different servers but in the same clear group throws it off a little bit. But I think that there's quite a few people hiding achievements here. NA is the Cleveland Browns.
That's a good one.
Sly understands it. I don't, but
yes, because the Cleveland Browns are shit.
I mean, I got that much out of it, but
no. We're the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a better one. Yeah, we're Jacksonville. At least Jacksonville's decent.
I still really enjoy looking at Creator, oddly enough, and then Chocobo still shits on everyone. It's just great that Chocobo shits on everyone in every category.
Pretty much. Goetia.
Gordius is kind of weird though, because Gordius, like, that a lot of those are unsynced. So like I can't take those too much. But even when it comes to being unsynced, we have fucking 5 servers ahead of us. All right. Yep. NA at least has 1 clear. Browns still don't have a win. Yeah. So that makes more sense to sports fans than saying that makes things a lot better for me.
Yeah, it puts it a lot relative.
My server's not shitted on. It's already been flushed. I like that. Can't. Yeah. Well, I mean, can still shit on it. Just have to flush again.
I mean, you can look at this from an overall standpoint, but let's take it a bit further and let's go ahead and sort by just region. Let's lessen the pain on ourselves a little bit. So I'm gonna do region first.
A to Z or Z to A?
You can do either because I'm doing it on Excel proper.
Okay.
And I can tell you for Deltascape, largest to smallest. All right. So when we look at ourselves, of course, the New England Patriots, Gilgamesh at the top, Leviathan second, Behemoth third. Hey, we're doing something right, Behemoth. Primal boys.
I can't display the data in the same way. So is there something that I should be a way I should be displaying this?
With Google Sheets, it doesn't allow you to. I don't think it allows the temporary to sort by two different?
No, I don't.
Different. Yeah, it does.
It might. No, it
So
doesn't.
what you would have to do is you would have to do a custom sort by region first, and then I did mine by cleared Deltascape. But I have it with me. Of course, for North America, Gilgamesh first, Leviathan second, Behemoth third, Balmung fourth, Cactar rounding out the top 5.
I mean, I can kind of still get that data. It's just that it's not going to be in order.
Yeah. And then when you go to JP, of course, Chocobo being the top of everything. And then Bahamut and Mandragora, Shinryu, Carpo. And then EU, Ragnarok, Odin, Cerberus, Moogle, and Shiva. Those are top 5 for each individual region.
I mean, to be fair, EU also does not have a whole heap and hell of a lot of servers. You just named half of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's the unfortunate truth. I really think they need more servers still. Like, Louiswa and Omega were nice. I still think Europe could use more servers. Like, maybe just one more, but actually, I don't know. Actually, you know what? It's probably okay right now. We have too many servers in North America. It's actually more the point that I kind of lean towards, but that's just me.
Another surprising thing on the North American front, in terms of clear rate, Zalera is not last.
No, they're
third to last.
Yeah, Goblin and Mateus are behind them.
Yeah.
Proud of you, Zalera. Proud
of you.
So proud. So proud. Not really. Good job though. You get a medal. Like a bronze. You get a bottom place bronze medal. You're the third from worst. If it was a competition of worst, you'd be third place.
Right. So with this data, with everything that we got in this unofficial census, is there anything that sticks out to you? Is there anything that it tells you?
Dude, besides, can we just stop disbanding after 3 polls and like teach people how to play the game? You know why we can't clear shit is because people who want to learn how to play the game, they never get a chance, man. We just disband on the 3rd wipe and it's done. And our numbers are gonna be shit until we start like actually, being fucking decent human beings to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Like every time we get this data, it just makes us look so much worse every time. And you would think it would stop getting worse with each unofficial census, but no, it always gets worse.
It always gets worse. It's because we have even more data to look at how bad it is. Right. It's not data. It's never data that like starts like going in the other direction. It's always data that continues to support that mentality. Unfortunately, and don't get me wrong, the JP servers have disbands. Like they have like skip soars and disband, but like they're just so much better at like getting the idea of progress through to people versus us, the fucking impatient, shitty Americans who need everything done fast, or it's just whatever, gives a shit. That's it, man.
Let me go back over the data real quick. One thing, and yeah, well, the thing you have to realize in comparison to Gordius, Midas, and Creator,
Deltascape's way up there.
It's a way up there. It's people considered it in terms of difficulty.
Less people have cleared. I mean, the thing is, I can't compare these Creator numbers because they have unsynced, like there are unsynced clears present in those. There are undoubtedly unsynced. The only place that there probably are not unsynced clears are Midas, and even then there are, but there's so few, they don't skew the numbers too much. As otherwise, it looks like a shit ton more people cleared Creator than Deltascape. Like across the board, almost every server. In fact, every single server, I think, has more creator clears, which is not that, considering it's been out for longer, is not that big a surprise even before considering Unsync, but that definitely throws the number into flux.
Yeah, because there's no, like, people don't really have any reason to go back and clear minus other than, you know, for shits and gigs.
No, man, there's a minion. Hey, Brute Justice was an experience, okay? Did you watch a video first? The second week content is out. Dude, I saw my name being dropped the day it came out. I put up a kill. I put up a kill video. I put up a kill video, and within, like, before the end of my stream the same day, go to Party Finder, watch Mr. Happy's kill video.
No, you'll see that, like, the minute the patch comes out. Like,
I haven't even put a video up yet, and people are posting Party Finders that say that.
Go watch a Mr. Happy video. Yeah.
Guys, it's a meme. All right? Just, it's a meme.
It's a sign of the times to tell us how toxic we really fucking are.
I'm just saying.
The numbers speak for themselves. That's all I'm saying. Stop being toxic, North America. Like, we're better.
There's a reason why I like to make the guides. It's because I like to experience the fights before anyone else makes a guide. So just start doing that, and you'll be okay. Everything will be fine.
Do better, America.
Just get good, America.
Get good. Get good.
We just either that or just stop talking shit. All right, just one of the two.
Both
or both. You know what? We can be decent people in more than one way. No, we can't. But anyway.
Right.
So that covers the census. For the YouTube video, I'll be sure to include the Google Sheet link that you provided me, as opposed to the official one. I probably should find the official one too, since yours had some conversion errors.
Mm-hmm.
But Lucky Bancho, you the man.
Yeah, thank you again, Lucky Bancho. I love getting my hands on this data every time, and you know, I love translating it and doing all this.
And then waiting for the conversions to get fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so next up on the list, we have the Dualshockers interview that came out, I believe, Wednesday morning. After he had a show about nothing, the very next day an interview comes out. It's like fate. Just like tomorrow, I'll have another interview coming out. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we could have used it for today's show. But now we have it for next week.
Hooray.
Hooray. So the Dualshockers interview is interesting because we're rounding out about 7 or 8 weeks out from 4.1. So we're at almost the halfway point before 4.2, which is going to be signified by the December 15th live letter about 4.2. And there's quite a few hot topics regarding 4.2 that we haven't heard anything about. So the Dualshockers interview asked some questions about those, and we'll be able to go over what they said and some of our thoughts on that. One of the first ones is the squadrons. I don't know about you, Sly, but as much I already had everything leveled, so for me squadrons aren't that big a deal. But even now, squadrons are still like a top tier leveling resource, even after they fixed engage.
I still don't care about them,
and I ultimately feel that way too. So this first question about plans to expand it. Plans to add features like taking on special missions as well as which dungeons you can challenge. What it says word for word. So Sly, I want to ask you a very simple question. What the fuck is a special mission? And why would I do it any more of a reason than the same reason I do or don't do dungeons?
That is a good question. One I can't answer one I can maybe make an educated guess that in the end it won't be that special. Like
special, it's false advertising.
It's false advertising. I'm kind of thinking that it's going to be something that the original squadrons were. You just send them on a special mission that you have no interactivity with whatsoever. So it's not going to be like a dungeon that you go in with them.
So it sounds like guild hests with your squadrons as opposed to dungeons with your squadrons is what you're trying to make. It's what you're starting to make it. You think it is.
guild Hess, but no interactivity. They just go do a guild Hess.
No, I think it'll be interactive, but I think that these special missions will be more along the lines of a guild Hess activity. Like, you know, it's just a Malboro, and it has that Malboro does something, you know, speaking of the one with the bubbles, for example. Missions like that, as opposed to dungeon. But still, is there any reason for me to do this? Like, outside of the emotes, there wasn't much in the way of, like, hey, it's a really good idea to get your squadron to level. It didn't feel like there was a real meaning for me to get them to 60.
Unless they incentivize it. Like, I don't see any real purpose to doing it.
And that's my problem with squadrons. I think it's great. It's one of those features that, like, is not useful for me, but I see how many people it can be useful for if they use it in the way that it's, you know, but even before with engaged spam, even now without it, it's still a good leveling method. That's not Palace of the Dead. It's just, I don't think was their intended use for it in the first place. I don't think that was the reason they made squadrons, was to give people a solo leveling option. I think that just ended up being what it was, the only thing it was good at.
Right. Yep. Still, personally speaking, haven't even seen my squadron. Don't remember who half of them are.
You go back in there, they're still doing push-ups. You're just like, oh shit, how many have they done?
Like, that Lala is probably swole by now.
Lala swole.
Yeah.
And then more dungeons, fantastic. I still don't know why you only have level 50 dungeons when your squadron members go up to 60.
Yep.
I feel like they just lifted the cap on that because they wanted to add dungeons.
What do you think the next dungeon will be?
I don't know, man. Like, I'd imagine they'll do more of the low-level dungeons on that list, but higher-level dungeons start having, like, things that actually happen on boss fights. And even just thinking of the Tonberry King, like, even with engage spam, like, not being a bug anymore, you still need to engage spam on him to stop your squadrons from being fucking stupid.
Yeah.
What's that? 8 new ads have spawned. Well, let me just go attack those real quick. Yeah. I don't have much in the way of expectations for more dungeons.
Ormvale?
No, please
Fair
don't.
serious?
No, they have other plans for Ormvale, according to they've got other plans. Actually, the other plans come from a live stream Yoshida did the other day, where he mentioned mounts for specific for doing a specific dungeons with a specific job. And, like, so let's say you get or a job emote, my bad. So if you want the Dark Knight emote, you have to beat Ormvale 100 times with Dark Knight. And you do that for all 15 jobs. So imagine doing 1,500 Ormvales for all your job emotes.
Yep, that's 10 pounds of nope in a 5-pound bag right there.
I thought you were going to say 10 pounds of nope in a 5-pound bag of go fuck yourself. Because that's what I was thinking. And some people were like, oh, and they're going to have to make them synced because they want more people doing this dungeon, right?
Right.
So they're going to be synced also, Sly. To make you more excited? Less excited?
Again, nope. Just no.
10-pound bag of nope. 10 pounds of nope in a 5-pound bag. Get that on a fucking shirt, please. Okay. Or on a bag. Anyway. Just, like, literally, can somebody make Sly just a bag, a 5-pound bag that says nope on it? You can just hold it. It's like the cup. Everyone says that, like, my care cup is empty, and it just says care cup, and you never fill it with anything.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then they asked if we could get our retainers as squadron members, which is something we've discussed before. And they said no, they don't want it. They're not doing it. They're not planning on doing it.
Well, fuck that.
They said they might make it so retainer details can be copied over to squadron members, and that it would take a while to do because they're two completely different interfaces and systems that would need to be linked. But they'll relay the idea. It still wouldn't make me do squadron. My retainers, as much as I don't really like messing with my retainers, they're more useful than my squadron is. I don't need to demote them. These motherfuckers can solo Moggle Mog and shit and just come back to me with items. My squadron's like, sorry, we couldn't do this level 40 operation because our fucking strength wasn't high enough or some shit. You worthless motherfuckers. Worthless. They asked the question about Raul Jr. They couldn't answer because it was spoiler. It was like spoiler territory. So then they asked about, another spoiler related thing with Y'shtola. So again, we won't really go into that. Next we have a PvP question. Sly, before the show started today, we saw a very interesting video on PvP.
Yes, we did.
So Sly, have you ever been in the Feast and seen speed hackers?
Of course.
I've seen them. I've seen them as well. For those who don't know, they're people who they hack into the game and they change their character's movement speed values so that they can outrun you pretty much. And whether they're a healer or a DPS or whatever, it's obviously advantageous to be able to move faster. So they're hackers.
Right.
Somebody brought that in the Rival Wings.
Please tell me you have the video up.
No, I don't. I don't want to show it. I don't want to show how OP it is, and then people go, shit, I want to do that too.
People already do it anyway, so might as well.
Yeah, they did it in an oppressor. The suppressor made two cruise chasers look like bitches. He's just like, oh, I'm sorry. Were you chasing me to try and stop me from firing these missiles? Yeah, no, it's see ya.
Mech's looking really good right now, folks. Thanks. Again, this is making Shatter look really good. I'm just saying.
I've seen it in Shatter too, but in Shatter it doesn't matter as much because
really
you're gonna teleport to a crystal and it's not gonna matter. Here, if you were to teleport or speed hack an oppressor into a base and just not get hit by anything outside of when you're firing the missile, you will win the game. You will win the game. If you teleport to a crystal and shatter, you will not necessarily win the game. So
you don't get a lot of credit.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Not on the big ice, but on the small ice, yeah. That would play a bigger role on that.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. So the question in particular, though, was about. He very quickly says, "Yo, I would love Realm versus Realm, but never mind." It's like Piano's like, "Yeah, we're not doing that shit." But he wants to know what the metrics look like. So number of people doing PvP is important. They said there are 3 goals right now: pushing out Rival Wings, making modifications to the existing rule set, and then what's it called? They want to refine the time for specific content is available. And this is a concept I'd forgotten about. I don't know if you remember this, but Naoki Yoshida had presented the idea of ranked matches only being doable within certain hours of the day. So if you were looking to raise your rank, if you played during those hours.
We spoke about this and are saying that this would screw a lot of people regarding time zones and when they have access to play, like because of work and other priorities that they have to do. Yeah, a lot of people who are hardcore PvPers would be screwed. So I don't think it would be like having a limited time per day PvP mode wouldn't be feasible.
I still think, and they've actually brought this up too, but not in the interview, that all they need is just make it so if you don't PvP, you lose rank. It's like the most simple thing that isn't in our ranked PvP yet. I don't understand. They've mentioned doing it at least, finally, but I don't understand why that was not something that was almost immediately added in within the first season or two. It is like a crucial thing to make sure that people need to keep participating in the PvP. And, you know, they have done it.
So, begs the question, are we and when are we getting decay in PvP?
We better get in for, like, it's 4.2 is kind of a weird time to do because it's right smack dab in the middle of a season. So 4.25 would be more like it. But, like, I feel like any game where you have a ranking system, you have to make it so if you don't play matches, you lose rank. You can't just get to the top and sit there.
I say 5.0. I say like
damn, Sly would be no faith whatsoever.
Like I say, this is going to get put on the shelf so many times that it will only like it's important now, but like everything else will overshadow its importance, and we won't get until 5.0.
And something we'll have before 5.0 though is they want to start official tournaments to create motivation for people to play PvP.
That's good.
That's fine.
Again, don't put a time limit on D. Well, meh.
What do you mean don't put a time limit?
I mean, it's an official tournament, so they're. I mean,
the match has to have a time limit, Sly. They can't make it so the match goes until people have the maximum amount of medals. It would never work.
Right. Like, yeah, this would be fine for something, you know, like within a certain window of a day or something. But
yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, it's different. Yeah, I like them at like qualifiers being a certain hour of the day or something like that. Yeah, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
That. Plan to incorporate all those things through 4.x, except for the decaying thing. That's only an idea they mentioned in a different interview a while back. So that's
again,
not something
not until 5.0. Please look forward to it.
No.
Hi. None whatsoever.
You are really like I can't even get to the next point because you're just like nope. Yeah, you're what's his name in that movie in the car. He's like no, hell no, no. What movie is that?
The one with Bruce Willis and
yeah.
I forgot the name of it. It was a meme. It was more memes.
I love that meme. I've used that meme just a great number of times. I just don't remember the name of the movie.
Right.
What's it called? So then they confirmed they're doing the text-based storyboard for the fifth. Is it really Fifth Element? Text-based storyboard for the expansion pack's opening trailer. So they're working on the next expansion already. That's not a surprise to anyone. They talk about working on the 24-man. This isn't. I don't think this is the interview. There was a different interview that I feel like. Did I scroll past this thing? I don't see the housing thing anywhere here.
The housing was first. The housing thing was one of the first things. So you probably.
Oh, okay. We'll go back to that thing because that's
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right. I somehow scrolled past it by accident.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go back to that because that is probably the longest thing. I don't know how. I guess when I opened the page, the last time I had it opened, it remembered where I was and it cached me there. Yeah, it must have been because it started me at the population balance question when I opened the page. Okay, we'll go back to that then because that's probably the longest topic that's on here. And then finally, they asked if Vieira would be in the game.
Confirmed for 5.0. Like let's just go ahead and confirm it.
It says it's top secret. Conversations. How the fuck is that confirmation? Oh, we don't talk about that stuff publicly or I'll get killed. Oh, so it's confirmed.
Confirmed.
What the?
I mean, we didn't get a new race for Stormblood, so it'll like per the schedule, it would logically be the following expansion. So 5.0. Yeah, we're probably gonna get Vieira.
I don't think so. Either that, if we do, their feet are going to be, like, fucking normal. And so they're going to do something about those ears. So, that's not going to be the Vieira you want them to be. Even if they are there. So, get fucked. Anyway. So going back to the top, because this was kind of the big thing that people discussed when this interview came out, is regards to the housing situation. Now, Sly and my free company were fortunate enough to transfer an existing house to Shirogane, which opened up an old house slot, so it's the same amount of housing that was taken up, just we moved to a new location. So they just say, just wasn't enough housing, so what are you doing at 4.2? They just said they couldn't meet the demand, so they said the current thing they're working on, reviewing the percentage of active players who own housing as well as the number of active free companies that do not own housing. And from there, work to add appropriate amounts of additional wards to all 4 existing housing areas in 4.2.
One, I feel like this is good, but at the same time, I feel like it's redundant. I mean, we already have demolishing of inactive, personal player houses. I don't know if they go for FC houses as well. I'm pretty sure
it's all houses. If a house hasn't been used in 45 days, assuming there's not like sometimes for natural disasters they make it so like that automatic demolishing thing just goes away. Like I know they did that for the hurricanes this last year. But
so I feel like demolishing kind of takes care of that already.
Well, demolishing takes care of what? And precisely, like of the things I just said. Because
like they're saying inactive FCs, active FCs, and like it takes care of inactivity.
Well, the thing that's interesting to me is they're directly comparing active players who have a house to active free companies that do not. Which tells me that something that makes it easier for free companies would be the priority there if they're looking specifically at free companies that do not have housing. Otherwise, why would you say that? We know there are changes coming in 4.2 to the housing and the way it's obtained, which they mention next. They're going to be changing the purchasing system, but they don't want to give anyone details until it's closer to releasing because they don't want people trying to prep for it in certain ways. Which everyone seems to think it's going to be a lottery system where you put your name in a hat, and if your name gets pulled, then you have the option, hey, go pick a house. Which has its pros and cons as well. Yeah.
We always reach this avenue of what would be a good long-term solution for housing. Now that you bring this up, and this is going to sound so stupid, but it would definitely be more data, but an FC ward and a personal ward.
I mean, that's what people have been saying for the longest time, but ultimately there comes the issue of doesn't matter. Is there even fucking enough housing for that? I mean, then how much more housing do you need when you do them for both? If they don't have enough housing as is, what are the odds that they add enough to even remotely accomplish that?
I feel like it would accomplish that because
it would, but the problem is they still need to add more houses, which is and that's the limited thing. It doesn't matter if they separate the wards if they still don't add enough houses, especially when people are still able to buy both a free company and a personal house. Which means they then go to two different wards anyway.
You got to think about the people who are going to do both an FC and a personal. And then exactly how many people not just were able to do a personal house. Like how many people are going to do a personal house? How many people,
Almost everyone does a personal house. Almost everyone who plays this game who qualifies wants a personal house. If that wasn't true, we wouldn't have as much outrage as we do every time housing goes up.
That's just because it's combined with the FC.
Exactly.
Like, FC and personal. Like, it's combined. I think if we did end up doing this, it wouldn't be as big an issue. I really, honestly don't.
I just don't think there's any way that separating them... I think that it's good for the sake of a free company isn't immediately standing next to another, like 20 individuals trying to get the same plot. It's if there's anyone else standing by that plot, they are a free company. So it limits the types of people who will compete with you directly, but it's still not going to be enough.
I don't know. I feel like we'd have a lot of overflow with that. You'd have a lot of houses left if we put the system in play.
We wouldn't. There's just not enough. Or you end up in a situation where the individual houses are all tapped and there's free company houses left and people go, well, why can't I just buy that? Yeah. It's not a bad idea. It's just also not going to solve anything. Outside of making it so that a free company won't get dicked out by individuals buying out houses. Free companies can only get dicked by other free companies buying houses. And it also depends on the server, like server pop and active player base and all that shit.
That would have been a good statistic, or a good
if it was obtainable via unofficial census, which it's definitely not. So they're going to be adding equal numbers of plots to all 4 housing areas as a reminder, not just Shirogane, despite that being kind of the point of the question. Then they ask if it would be possible to add houses or wards dynamically based on demand. Hey, a ward is full, generate a new ward. Or make it so it sends a signal. Now, I know that's possible to do in other games, because there are other games that do it. Final Fantasy XIV is a bit denser in terms of population than other games, though.
Right.
So Yoshida's worry is that it would create strain, because a server then has to automatically generate a shit ton of data. It's not generating one house, it's generating an entire ward. And you have to set it up so that server does the entire thing, creates a copy, and the copy is stable dynamically. And I think that's where his concern is in terms of server stability, because there's a lot that can go wrong when you leave a machine to do all of that automatically, especially when data can get corrupted during the creation process and shit. And, he just said no. He's like, we could do it, but it would probably fuck everything up.
No, we could do it, but no.
It's like, it's like, they're not able to create a system because, they want to avoid a compromise of stability. It's like a fear of the unknown stopping them. However, there's hope yet for more at least decent housing. Apartments. One of their future programs is to have multiple sizes for the apartment.
But is that really a long-term? It's something we want. Yes.
It's something we can generate a lot more of, apparently, because it's being generated in an enclosed space in an instanced area, as opposed to being generated in a field. It apparently is a little easier to do.
But you know what the response to that is? Fuck that. I want a house. I don't want a goddamn apartment. I want a house.
Man, just think about that. If we never had individual houses and we had apartments, and there was there was no free company house is big and then your personal house is, smaller. If they just were never mixed and apartments were introduced as the individual, that wouldn't, what you just described wouldn't have happened. But that's because it's a possibility. It's kind of, why would I want that? I just want a normal house.
Right.
Especially when they confirmed in a different, I think in that same thing they mentioned the Auramvale 100 runs thing. I think they said that doing an outdoors is kind of rough, because an outdoor for an apartment, like a balcony that allows you to do things like gardening and shit, would be kind of rough, because they basically would need to create an entire outdoor area, not an instanced outdoor area, because that's how the gardening items are. They basically are registered into a housing outdoor area. I don't know. It's like he described the entire programming process and how the items are identified on the server, and that creating that instance is land man. Yeah, actually no, it mentions it right here too. Due to this, we cannot apply land management to an apartment, as its processing is the same as the house interior. They basically need to create 2 separate processes, I guess, within one place in order to add a terrace. And that's fucked up.
A lot of work.
I just want a patch in. What about a patch inside the house? Fuck the terrace. Just give me a patch inside the house that counts as outdoors. Fuck it. Maybe in the large apartments, which is what they're going to be working on. Small, medium, large apartments. I'd be cool with the idea of you start with the small apartment and you can do quests and bring materials to get the larger one as opposed to just buying it. I'd be down for that. And yeah, so ultimately all we've learned is there's going to be more houses and eventually more apartments or better apartments.
And then there's one other thing in the interview that kind of brings this conversation full circle. They ask about Ishgard housing. And right now the answer is Nah, but
Nah.
Do you think Ishgard housing would kind of take the strain and the heat off of Shirogane housing, and how I wouldn't say badly implemented it was in the beginning, but how there was a lack thereof? I mean, because people obviously, if you give people another option, it's going to kind of split the population who will be buying houses, and it gives them another option. You didn't get Shirogane. I know that's what you wanted, but hey, we got Ishgard. And I know some people are going to say fuck that, and I still wanted Shirogane. But at the same time, I know there are some people who still want Ishgard.
Sly, I'm gonna give you the hard truth here.
Okay.
If one housing district is full,
okay,
and another one still has houses available, you throw what you want away and just get something. You know what Ishgard is?
Something.
All it would do, it's basically the same effect as adding more wards. It's for the people who didn't get housing the last time around. And then there are people who will move to Ishgard from the old housing, and then you have to go fucking looking through all the other wards before other people find them, yada yada. Now, is that a reason not to make Ishgard housing? No. But it's in terms of problem solving, it does about as much as adding a new ward or adding a series of new wards. Maybe it's easier for them to generate data for, like, once it's made, like, once they've gone through the design process and the programming process, maybe it's easier to generate a shit ton of wards for a new housing area on the server. I doubt it, than it is to just add wards to the old ones, but I think that it doesn't do anything. It's a nice idea, though, and I suppose basically every time people have asked about Ishgard housing in the last year, he goes, maybe when it's less snowy, because their city's kind of shit right now, guys. He's like, they're still kind of rebuilding after the 1,000-year-long war. Things kind of aren't put together.
Yeah, we haven't heard from them in a while since the Dragonsong War. It's been we kind of been dealing with other shit. I mean, once we kind of bring it to light, story-wise and lore-wise, and maybe, like, I think improvements are coming soon to Ishgard, where, it would actually be a place where you want to live, even though it's the ghetto right now.
Yeah, Yoshi P, when last time he said something along those lines, he said maybe when the ice melts, and everyone took that as oh shit, Ishgard's gonna thaw out. Like, no one even heard, like, the whole if. Maybe one day, they're just like, well, he said if, so clearly that means Korthus is going to completely thaw out. So.
But who doesn't want to live in a wonderland, though?
I mean, I was just in Canada, but it's not that cold in Canada right now, so.
Right.
That's all I know. I don't know anything else. I just know that it's cold and not fun, and I don't know why people live in Alaska, so I don't know why the fuck anyone want to live in Ishgard, man. I don't know why people want to live in Alaska and shit. So it's like, it's fucking cold, man. Other than it's isolated, it's quiet, it's nice.
Quiet, good fishing.
Good fishing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's no. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All right, and that was everything from the Dualshockers interview. So, Sly, is there anything else that happened in this last week that you want to hit on before we wrap up the show this week?
Not much, pretty much. Kind of looking forward to whenever I had to look on the lodestone, but whenever we're gonna get Starlight. Starlight should be happening soon.
Yeah. Oh, there's one other thing. The Dragon Quest event is back, isn't it?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's like all the way back. I don't think it was actually out last week because it was on its way, but now it's actually back, and it's back until the 14th. So about 9 days from now. Yeah. Oh, what if Ishgard thaws out and it just floods everywhere else, man? We'll call great idea. We'll call the expansion Final Fantasy XIV Cataclysm. It's never been done before.
Final Fantasy 14 and Inconvenient Truth?
No. Cataclysm. It's never been done before.
Sure.
I'm calling it. There you go. Or if you believe in flat Eorzea theories, it'll just fall off the planet. Anyway. But not on the nearby star. The nearby star is round. We have proof of that.
Right.
Definitely. Got it. Also, free login campaigns going on right now. Sly, you got excited when I said that.
Yeah, because I just remembered that because we just talked about that in Ray, and I was like, wait, there's another one?
So for anyone who doesn't know what the free login campaign is, it's been done a million times before, but they're doing it again. You get up to 96 hours of login time. They say up to because odds are you won't be playing the game 96 hours straight. But, and of course, you may not use all 96 hours in the first place. So this only applies to users who have previously purchased and registered 14. All registered service accounts that are set as inactive during the campaign period, and registered service accounts must have been inactive for at least 30 days. So if you deactivated your account before the first day of November, so sometime in October, then you would qualify for this campaign. It started last Friday, and it's going to be going until January 4th. So as soon as you log in for the first time, you have 96 hours from that second of free login time, pretty much. Ends as soon as... Actually, it's not even 96 hours. It ends on the 4th day at 11:59 local time. So theoretically, if you logged in at, like, I guess 11:55 on the first day, and then 3 days go by and you're on the 4th day, and... and then 4 minutes go by, you get fucked. So don't do that. Don't log in at 11:55 p.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, local time. It is actually your own local time, not Pacific time. Just don't do that. Just log in like at its reasonable time so you don't get completely fucked out of the 4th day. All right, log in at 12:01. Get the full 4 days, and then go back to sleep because you're normal. You got a job the next day. Fuck it. Or it's Christmas and you don't, so fuck it. And you're not gonna go see family. Fuck that. You're gonna play video games like a real nerd. There's also a link to the actual client download on the website, and there's a bunch of notes regarding when it starts. There's just a bunch of like little things here that you can read on it. But yeah, free login period if you are interested. I think that is it though, Sly. I don't see anything else of particular note.
Hey, we got a show next week, right?
Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. I mean, I'm hoping some other stuff happens other than that, but I am interested in going over what Sudo-san has to say with
same.
Yeah, same. I hate when people say same. Don't you agree?
I know. I said it.
Doesn't everyone in the chat agree? Don't you guys hate it when people say same? That's bait. Sane? You typed it wrong.
No. I just didn't want to say same.
You. Alright, there you go. That's bait. Anytime I ever need lots of Twitter responses, I just tweet that out. I hate it when people just say same when they agree with you. Don't you guys agree? Same.
Agreed. Similar.
Yep, and yep. All right. So on that note, though, I think we are good to wrap things up, Sly.
Yes, we are.
All right. Well, then, why don't you tell the ladies and gentlemen where they can find you at?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Greyfox. You can find me on Instagram at Sly, aka Greyfox07. You can find me on Twitter at Slythefox, youtube.com/development room, Facebook, facebook.com/Sly, aka Greyfox. And both Mike and I have a really busy weekend ahead of us. Yeah, Friday is Dauntless, Sharpen Your Skills. Saturday for me, I still had to do S&T Saturday, and then for like half the day, and then somehow, some way do the Monster Hunter beta, which we're going to be doing for the next 3 days. And yeah, so we won't have a life, will we, Mike?
No.
Mike?
No.
You don't sound so excited. You're not excited for like Dauntless and Monster Hunter? We're gonna be hunting all weekend, man.
It's gonna be busy. That's all I gotta say. It's gonna be busy.
But where can they find you and all the busy work?
You can find me, Mr. Happy1227, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all those fun places. Yeah, I'm still working through Waifu Blade Chronicles 2, which I will not finish before Friday, by the way, and that's fucked. So Friday, as you said, Dauntless, Sharpen Your Skills update, day before Monster Hunter World Beta. Final Fantasy 15 is also getting the Switch Your Bros update before the 13th, which is when episode Ignis comes out. Then December 14th is Star Wars. December 15th is the live letter. I'm going back to New Jersey on the 16th. And on top of that, if you're fans of Hearthstone, if you're fans of World of Warcraft, the Antorus raid on Mythic, you have that. Hearthstone has a new expansion coming out. I think Blade and Soul has a new expansion coming. We're fucked.
You got a busy December, everybody. Merry Christmas.
I hope that there's no like beta for like Dissidia or Fighter Z or Dragon Ball Fighter Z or anything this month.
You say that and it actually will happen.
I said I hope it doesn't.
No. You just wished it to happen, so thanks.
I didn't wish anything. I said no.
No, but by saying that, it's going to happen. So thanks.
You
said it.
At least wait till like the end of December, and then you're fine. Because Monster Hunter Beta is only 4 days. Dauntless probably spend about the same number of days total. And then with 15, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Don't know yet.
Yeah.
Don't yet. I mean, January is still more fucked. Yeah. January is way more fucked than December is. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's, yeah. By the time I finish growing my beard back, then, my life will be turned upside down. That's it. So that's gonna be. All right, let's move on over to the post show. Then after I do the Sly, you were shaking your head no. I was literally saying it. You didn't even wait for me to say after we.
I'm talking about that Fresh Prince reference. God
Oh, okay, all right. I took you a while before you seemed to react to the Fresh Prince reference. It took you a while, so I thought you were talking about the other thing. You were like. It took you a while. There you go.
Just get to it.
I'm doing the sponsor list, Sly.
Yeah, good. Just go ahead.
All right. So, okay. Now you threw my whole spiel is off now because of you. All right. So before we wrap up the show, let's thank our sponsors for staying around. Those of you supporting us over on Patreon with hashtag demonetized. Shout out your name, Sly. We're gonna even be adding in some more stuff for them. Stuff that was close to the chest last week, remember?
Yeah, can we say it?
Why would I say this if we weren't going to say it, Sly?
Okay, thank you. Say it.
Right. So we're going to be adding in a few things. Obviously, we have weeks like last week where there's Darren Dick all right? So we're going to be, by the way, hashtag demonetized. We're going to be allowing certain sponsors to help give us discussion topics on weeks that are like that. And in general, they're going to give us discussion topics, but it'll be very valuable on weeks like last week where there's not a whole lot to talk about. Something that's, brimming in the community or it's a curious topic. So that system will be incorporated sometime this month. On top of that, there's going to be some other stuff over there. So be sure to check it out. If you are a sponsor, go get educated. I sent out a message earlier today. So be sure to respond to it as soon as possible if you are already a sponsor. But anyway, we have some peeps to thank. We have Eadric Redsteele on Exodus, Lexxie Valentine, Mantaru and the Rivivus Free Company from Zodiark, Marsh Techie, Sour Cream and Chives from Genova, Ellisan Le'ore from Balmung, Rynoet Chikara, Kira, Ryoshi, and for some reason they're missing half of them. And the Reckless Tea Party on Cactar. I don't know why half the name is missing on that one. Goetia Valefar of Siren, Jean-Francois. We have Hersh Fersh of Faerie, Phoenix Free Company on Goblin, and Serren from Zodiark. Those are our standard sponsors. And then for our elite sponsors, we have Ignis Farragun from Diablo server, Valestra of Fanfrit, Noct Cordage from Excalibur. Then that's what they type, so that's why I'm just repeating it. Corvos Moonscar, Naku Niyame of Balmung, Irin Avon Blanc, Free Company on Zodiark, Johnny Odin of Tomberry, Private Mikey, Aqua Sacrifice, Obaido Shamsi, Spike, Rudy Rudiger, Nadine Kurosame, Khuja Cross of Genova server, Ahmed Kurenai Oni of Duala, Tin Colossus, Killer Hackman, Raul Jr., Dark Light 2013, Arthur Milgame Bishop, and Kiltastic Jones.
Thank you to all our sponsors.
You guys rock.
Thank you.
It's gonna be new mug month. It's gonna be new mug month for some of you.
Ooh.
New mug month.
Mugs.
Mugs are good. Mugs are cool.
Yes, they are.
I have the 30th anniversary Final Fantasy mug on the way. I ordered it a few months ago, and it just the order just got confirmed because I think they were waiting until it was like actually available to confirm orders and shit like that. So I'll have two. I'll have this fancy mug, and then I'll have the 30th anniversary mug, and it'll be brilliant. And then I can the redundancy of me sipping on does this count as narcissism at this point right here?
Tad bit.
What one was a gift. Yeah, well, you know. All right, well, thank you, everyone. We're going to move on over into post-show, and Kurioshi just made themselves an elite sponsor, so I'm going to shout you out real quick. See?
Thank you.
I updated it.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, and we'll see you next week with a real show. So thank you, and we'll see you then.
As opposed to this real show.
As opposed to this real show. We'll see you guys next week.
God damn it.
All right, and we're good.
We're good.
We'll see you next week with a real show.
With a real show.
I just feel like saying that every